I have been over on an app called Xiaohongshu for the past, I think about 10 days now, and we've been having delightful conversations. The community of people is warm and kind and compassionate and filled with empathy, unlike any of the social media apps here in the US. About 3.4 million Americans went over to explore Xiaohongshu, this Chinese app, and found that the Chinese culture is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and the people are warm and loving and delightful. And while having conversations, many of you know that I'm writing a book right now, all about divine feminine and lunar. It's a lunar devotional for women. And so I decided to ask some questions of the Chinese women, because the majority of this app, about 70% of this app, is Chinese women, which makes it an even more magical space to be in. So as I'm asking these questions of these amazing Chinese women, asking about their lunar connection, there's so many aspects of divine femininity built into the Chinese culture. And it was really amazing to see that a culture that has 3,000 years of history has kept so much of their sacred duality, so much so that they don't even actually have a word for it because it's just built into their culture. And it really has me thinking how there's this aspect of, in the West, this, especially in America, we have such a disconnect from our ancient knowings, from our culture, from our lineage, from our heritage, because most of us, our grandparents or great-grandparents, were immigrants here and left all of that behind to become Americans. And this has really left us kind of with a void. Now we're now lost in this generation. The mental health crisis, the spiritual health crisis, the housing crisis, the medical crisis, there's just a crisis happening. And I think it's really interesting to suddenly, at this point in time, with everything else happening, being witness to another culture that has a deep, rich ancestral history that includes the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And it has me asking questions and thinking in ways that I never would have thought of. In fact, I've been reading the I Ching and reading the Yellow Emperor's medical book. I've been studying their 24 solar terms. I was already looking into the lunar mansions that China has. Arabia, Egypt, and Ptolemy also talk about lunar mansions. And so I am now, this has expanded and exploded the way that I'm thinking about this devotional. And I kept kind of getting down on myself. Like, I knew that I was in the flow with writing this book. And I knew that staying in my intuition and staying in the flow was crucial to writing this book. It's about being in the divine feminine. I wasn't going to control or rush what came through and when it came through. And I've had to practice a lot of patience with this because I would like for this to be finished. I want this to be finished. I want to hold this in my hands. And then this experience happened this week of being on Xiaohongshu and interacting with the people in this Chinese culture, and seeing that if I wouldn't have waited for this moment, if I would have rushed it, I would have missed my own neural pathways not being in a space of willingness, openness, seeing what's possible, truly, truly what's possible. And so I just want to share this kind of message with you, that if you're working on something, if you're going through this aspect of maybe you're ready to be somewhere else, or you're feeling like you need to be somewhere already, trust that there is something that is just getting lined up for you to expand your horizon, expand your awareness. I've just completely redid the entire 28-day lunar mansions that I've been studying on these ancient cultures. But again, I've talked a lot about astrology being off by 3,000 years, and I've actually recalibrated it to be completely in integrity with the sky as it is now. And I'm integrating all of these ancient understandings from the lunar mansions, but I am going to be calling them lunar temples, as this way to really honor the moon each night in this sacred, divine way of connection. And so If you're going through, where you're feeling like you want to push, first, it's winter. Rest in this. Receive in this season. If you're feeling like you need to do something, take out a journal, read a book, start a craft or an art project. Be in a space of receiving right now. This is a magical time of winter where, all of the elements really allow for us to just rest deeply. There is a lot emotionally going on in the world right now, especially in the United States today of all days. Feel, grieve, allow those emotions to move through you. Take deep moments of rest and just be with all of these experiences and emotions that are happening within you. Know that spring is around the corner, but also really relish in this time of rest and rejuvenation. Allow for your thoughts and the possibilities and the awareness that you're sitting in to be expansive right now. Our bodies need rest in order to really be at our best, and we're not allowed to do that a lot. So even if you're working a 9 to 5, when you come home, eat something simple or just eat a bigger lunch and then go to sleep with the sun. Allow yourself the time to rest. Allow yourself the time to receive right now. And as you really pull down into this time of winter, deep winter, there's this amazing healing that happens when you allow for your body to just be. So for the next 2 weeks at least, typically around it'll be the 2nd or 3rd of February this year, typically around that time is when the pagans and even the Chinese New Year happens. So that is their start of spring. You'll see spring, flowers that come up through the snow come up, things like that. Know that let's take the next 2 weeks to be deeply restful, restorative, enjoying this last bit of deep winter, because this is what we have. This is what we are in. And I want to believe that love, compassion, kindness, and hope can change the world. And I'm seeing that on Xiaohongshu, to the stark contrast to what I heard in the inauguration speech today. But I have to trust that I am magic. I know that you are magic. And if we use our magic in knowing, believing, trusting, and truly stepping into this divine feminine role of believing in our intuition, walking in collaboration, and trusting that this is going to be an incredible space. I just have to trust that. I have to believe that I am protected. I've been calling upon the goddesses. I've been calling upon Mother Earth and the primordial mother and the cosmic mother to really extend her hand and protect us women. And I will continue to do so. So if you would like to join in with me with that, I would be honored to have you do that. And I haven't posted a video in a while directly for YouTube. And I am really looking forward to creating an actual physical goddess temple this year on my property in Missouri. So if you would like to participate in that, if you'd like to collaborate or create some space to come and actually be in Missouri and help dig some dirt and create a goddess temple, I would absolutely love for that to happen. I will be putting out some dates or events that will be here, and we'll be doing that. Otherwise, we'll be traveling a little bit around Missouri, doing some pagan festivals and the Baker Creek Festival and things like that. So I hope to see you at some of these, and I'm looking forward to a year that the divine feminine can awaken, because it is time. It is time.